This is the final part of our journey, the closing chapter in a series on spiritual awakening, inspired by the teachings of Alan Watts and others who pointed toward the unspeakable. If the first steps were about glimpses and practices, and the second about restraint and silence, this last part turns toward the most delicate truths, the void, freedom, and the quiet way of living what cannot be spoken. Awakening is not just an idea, it is a lived presence. And in this chapter, we explore what happens when the experience of spiritual awakening deepens into emptiness and ultimate freedom. The fourth thing you must never share is the void. There is a reason the great teachers spoke carefully about emptiness, because when awakening deepens, one of the most unsettling realizations is that there is no solid ground anywhere. Everything you thought was permanent, your plans, your identity, even the world itself, reveals itself as a dance, a flowing process, a happening without fixed edges. Take the sense of self. It feels so continuous, so solid, yet it is more like a river. You can point to it, but try to grasp it, and all you catch is water slipping through your fingers. The river is not a thing, it is movement. This realization can be profoundly liberating. It means you are not trapped in your anxieties, your stories, your carefully constructed identities. They are clouds drifting across the sky. They come, they go, and the sky itself remains untouched. But to someone unprepared, this sounds terrifying. It sounds like nihilism, like nothing matters, like everything is meaningless. I once tried to explain this to a colleague over dinner. He was sharing his ambitions, his vision of who he wanted to become, and I said, unwisely, there really is no you to achieve anything. What you call yourself is just a pattern. He looked at me as if I had confessed to a crime. To him, I was denying his existence. He thought I was dismissing his life as meaningless. What I meant was, he is real, but not in the way he imagines. Not a separate self trapped in skin, but the universe itself, expressing as him. But he couldn't hear it because it threatened the very ground beneath his identity. Without that ground, he felt he would fall apart. This is why emptiness must be approached gently. In the right dose, it heals. In the wrong dose, it shatters. The truth of groundlessness is medicine, but only when given at the right time, in the right way. The fifth and final thing you must never share is the ultimate freedom. Another danger is freedom. When awakening ripens, you see that all rules, morality, conventions, shoulds, and shouldn'ts are agreements. Games we play together, and you realize you are free to play or not. But if you announce this, people panic. They imagine you'll rob banks or harm others. They think freedom means chaos. What they don't understand is that true freedom is not the freedom to harm. Because when you see clearly, harming another is harming yourself. There is no separation, so kindness flows naturally. Not because a rule commands it, but because unkindness would feel as absurd as punching your own face. A truly free person follows the spirit of the law, while being free of the letter. They pay bills, obey traffic lights, respect others, not because they must, but because harmony is easier than conflict. They are like a master actor who knows it's all a play, yet still gives the performance everything they've got. But try explaining this to someone who believes morality comes from external authority, from God, society, or some cosmic rulebook. To them, it seems impossible to be free of rules and yet act morally. They assume you are either lying or secretly immoral. So the awakened person learns to play along. They follow conventions, not because they are bound, but because it avoids unnecessary confusion. They live in freedom, but they wear the costume of society. So here they are. The 5 things you must never share carelessly if you are spiritually awake. Your direct experience of awakening. Your specific practices and methods. Your insights about other people. Your understanding of emptiness and groundlessness. Your sense of freedom from conventional morality. Does this mean silence forever? No. But the awakened person speaks lightly. They point, they invite, they suggest. They never confuse the finger with the moon. And they know the deepest teaching isn't in words at all. It's in presence, and the way they laugh, the way they walk, the way they simply are. People may not understand what you say, but they feel it. They feel peace, spaciousness, a sense that you are at home in the universe. So live your awakening quietly. Trust that those who are ready will wake up, not because you push them, but because consciousness itself is unfolding through all of us. You are not the awakener. You are another expression of awakening. And if someone truly asks, if they come with readiness, then speak. But speak as one beggar telling another where to find bread, not as someone who has arrived. Because here's the secret. There's nowhere to get to. We've always been here. We're just playing this magnificent game of pretending we're not. This is the paradox of awakening. It cannot be taught, yet it can be felt. It cannot be explained, yet it can be lived. The awakened person becomes a quiet presence in the world. They do not shout their freedom, they embody it. They do not insist on emptiness, they radiate it. And in their silence, others catch a glimpse, a spaciousness, a peace, a sense that perhaps, just perhaps, there is more to life than the stories we tell ourselves. So be gentle, be quiet, be free, and trust the unfolding, because the truth is not hidden. It is here, now, in every breath, every laugh, every tear. We are already home. We have always been home. And awakening is simply remembering what was never lost.